Welcome back, we the people. We're continuing to read Revelations, the book of Revelation, Els Holy Injiyl, chapter 18, verse 17, King James mistranslation. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off. Close quotation. That's King James mistranslation. Dr. York's right translation. Because in 1 hour will be destroyed great riches. In just one swoop, the empire of New Babylon will fall, and all its glitter and wealth will be destroyed, and all her leaders and all those who accompany with sailors and ships, and all who work in the sea, they too will stand far away. The Persian Gulf, Suez Canal, and Panama Canal will all be cut off from American control and trade. Verse 18. King James mistranslation. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? Close quotation. Dr. York, right translation and further explanation. And they all cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, in quotation, Who resembles this great city? As they cry, they do so in compassion for the New Babylon, who at one time was marveled at for its uniqueness. Today, people consider no place on earth to be like the USA. No nation on the planet Earth can compare to the United States. Its culture and influence dominates the world. They will see the glorious America go up with the smoke of its burning, which will cause them to cast dust upon their heads, an act of sorrow and dismay. Verse 19. The King James mistranslation. And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Close quotations. Dr. York, right translation and explanation. And they cast dust upon their heads and cried in a loud cry, weeping, saying, in quotation, Plagued, plagued, at last the great city, the New Babylon, USA, with whom they all became rich, which had ships in the sea, all nations and businessmen of the world, who traded with the United States, from buying by way of her costliness, and cause herself and those who associate with her to suffer a great loss because of the expensive lifestyle the inhabitants of her shores have become accustomed to. Because of this, in 1 hour, it will be destroyed. Close quotation. Verse 20. The King James mistranslation. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. Close quotation. Dr. York's right translation and explanation. So be happy because of her. Not everyone will be sad to see Babylon completely destroyed. Some will rejoice because of her demise. O you who are in the Orion skies, who are the 24 elders, and those souls who had already been slain because of righteousness. O you who are the holy apostles and prophets, newsbearers, who delivered messages to chosen men and women, because Theos sentenced her for you. Verse 21. The King James mistranslation. And the mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying thus, With violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Close quotation. Dr. York's right translation and explanation. And there rose a strong Anunnaki Elohim with a very large millstone, which was the upper stone of the rubbing mill, and cast it into the sea, saying, in quotation, By violence will this city Babylon receive her destruction, the same as it ruled the world and wreaked so much havoc and confusion throughout the planet Earth, and will not be found any more after that. Close quotation. When she falls, there will be no other empires like hers to come ever again. Verse 22. The King James mistranslation. And the voice of harpers and musicians, and of pipers and trumpeters, shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. Close quotation. Dr. York's right translation. And there won't be heard in you, the United States of America, the new Babylon, from now on, any sounds of plagues. The plagues will be over. You won't hear the sounds of the people wailing and bemoaning their state, nor the sounds of the harpers, nor any musicians, nor any flutes, nor any trumpeters. The sound of music will be gone. There won't be any parties or concerts to go to. No more music videos. No craftsmen or skills of any kind will be found in you. And the sound of the millstone won't be heard in you after this, at the end. Verse 23. The King James mistranslation. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Close quotations. Dr. York's right translation and further explanation. And the light of the lamp of the lighthouse will cease to shine out their guiding beam upon the seas. They will not shine any more in you, the United States. After that, and the voice of the bridegroom and the bride no more family life as the people of Babylon know it today. It will cease to exist. It will not be heard in you it will not be heard in you after that, and your businessmen, politicians, superstars, preachers, priests, pastors, witches, and warlocks, who were the heads of the planet Earth by way of their sorceries. They have deceived all nations. They have tricked the whole world into worshipping Zuen, the evil reptilian, sometimes called the devil, Satan, Diablos, Hasatan, and a host of other names. And no one knows that they are devil worshippers. Verse 24. Let's continue on the other side with the people. See you on the other side.